Shall we please take our seats?
Yeah. I think they have cells.
And may I invite the representatives from Djibouti, South Sudan, and Somalia to take your seats as we await the chief guest from the government of Uganda and the representative of the executive secretary who will be taking up their seats as well, so that we can embark on the official closing of the dialogue forum.
That's why they have to change the flags. So.
I think there was a small adjustment in protocol with apologies. May I invite the representative of the government of South Sudan to take the seat at the podium. We have the Republic of Djibouti already occupying the seat firmly, and the rest of us, please, let's take our seats as we await the arrival of the chief guest who will officially close this 3-day IGAD Water Dialogue Forum. And the representative of the government of Uganda is already at the hotel. The necessary protocol arrangements are being made to guide him to this room so that we can embark on the day's program. So as we wait for the chief guest, we also want to recognize our online participants. We want to thank you for being patient with us. Of course, we should have started at exactly 2 o'clock, but we are slightly behind schedule, primarily because we had the privilege of taking lunch that did not fit within the schedule we had set. And we apologize that we were not able to share this very excellently prepared meal by the staff of the Imperial Golf View Hotel here in Entebbe. but we promise that we shall make it possible for us to meet at the third IGAD Water Dialogue Forum probably soon. It will not take 8 years, I think. It will not take 8 years this time, so that we can meet physically and interact with you in one room, so that we fully benefit from your knowledge and expertise and experiences, while you also take our perspectives one on one. We've had a number of side events, all that have been successfully run, but of course it's not up to me to give you the whole summary of what has been going on. I'm sure that through the speeches that will be made this afternoon, we will be appraised on some of these key processes that have gone on here in Entebbe for the 3 days, and what has come out of those key processes. We hope that we can conclude very quickly, so that those of you who have come to Entebbe for the first time, you have the opportunity to tour this city that several years ago was the seat of the British colonial government in this country. As you might be aware, Uganda was colonized by the British, and they established their capital here in Entebbe. Actually, the word Entebbe is from one of the 64 languages in Uganda, which means a seat or a chair. So Entebbe is a chair, and it was to symbolize the fact that this was the seat of the colonial government. And next to us we have Lake Victoria, named after one of the queens of England, Queen Victoria, and from which it is widely believed and documented that the source of the Nile is domiciled in a place called Jinja, flowing all through a number of IGAD countries up to Cairo. But of course, with tributaries running from Ethiopia and so on, running into the Nile waters, which bind us as a people of the region. So you might have the liberty to tour some of these places. There is within a distance of about 20 minutes walk. If you walked with the speed of Director Musa to the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, UWEC, formerly called the zoo, where you can be able to see some of the animal species, wild animal species that this region is endowed with. You can see probably a leopard, probably a lion, probably a chimpanzee, some snakes if you don't have phobia for snakes, and other wildlife at a center just very close to you. You can take some photos that you can show your children, your grandchildren, and your other relatives. These are moments that we will cherish, and it's also in the spirit of integration that we also do some tourism in line with the IGAD tourism master plan. So as soon as we finish the program, you have this agenda very close to you. If you've not been to Kampala, it's about, I'll not speak in terms of time because there is a variable traffic that affects that, but it's about 40 kilometers out of here. There is an expressway. You might want to visit Kampala and see if you've never been here before, so that you tick off. We like ticking off cities that we visited, but otherwise you can still enjoy the tranquil of Entebbe, eat the fish, various fish species from Lake Victoria, surface water. I know we've been discussing groundwater, but now in terms of surface water, the other resources like the fish, tilapia, Nile perch, and several other fish species that you might want to enjoy. I'm not sure which fish we ate during lunch, but what I can believe is that that fish came from Lake Victoria and was probably alive a couple of days ago because they fish it, process it, and you are able to eat it within a day of its capture from the fresh water lake. And probably many of you who have also who like movies, you probably watched a movie produced probably in the early 80s called 48 Hours in Entebbe, where there was, I think it was an Israeli plane that was hijacked and flown to Entebbe. And then it led to a raid on Entebbe airport where they rescued a number of hostages. If you came out of the airport, you could have seen something that looks like an airport. We call it Old Airport Entebbe, currently used mainly by the UN. That was the center of action those many years ago. So it could probably be another place with proper guidance, probably, but you might want to visit and also see some of these historical facts around the capital. It's not a capital, the city of Entebbe, so that you carry with you memories as you leave the country, but also not forgetting that COVID-19 is still alive and kicking with a new variant called Omicron, which is highly infectious. So you are advised at all times to keep your guard by wearing your mask, by making use of the sanitizer, and also social distancing wherever you are at. The opening of this meeting also coincided with the full opening of the Ugandan economy. That was, I think, on, they reopened the economy on 24th, but yes, and we also opened this meeting on, was it 24th or 25th? So it coincided with the full opening of the Ugandan economy, and that also meant a return of nightlife. Before then, there was curfew starting at 7 o'clock, and the security agencies were keen on enforcing the curfew regulations, but now curfew is not there, so you might make use of that time also to tour and see what life in Uganda looks like in the evening. Well, I'm saying this because although I work in IGAD and I'm based in Djibouti, I'm a Ugandan, and I grew up in this very city, which I'm happy to come back to and tell you about. There is a botanical garden with various species, tree species, and other things of interest to you who love nature. You could also visit there and see that. Those of you who play golf, there is a, I don't know how many holes are in that golf course, but you could also be introduced to Entebbe Golf Club, which is one of the major golf clubs in the country, quite many in the number of cities around the country. All this to make your life as pleasurable as possible. You can talk to the local hosts from the Ministry of Water and Environment and other agencies in Uganda to guide you accordingly. Those of you who want to do shopping, there is, I think, only one mall called Victoria Mall, but with other outlets, with products produced by local women and men, young people, that you may want to support, as long as you don't cause inflation, from the resources that have been made available to you for purposes of your subsistence during the 3 days of your stay, 3-4 days of your stay in Uganda. On this note, we have received our chief guest, and please let's rise. Let's rise as we receive our chief guest. today for the closing ceremony of this 3-day important meeting. Please remain seated. So without much ado, I will embark on the program proper. I'll start by introducing myself, Mubarak Mabuya. I'm the Manager for Coordination and Partnerships at IGAD Secretariat based in Djibouti, but born and bred in Uganda, drinking groundwater from Uganda, bathing groundwater from Uganda, and being the MC of this session on the regional water dialogue platform, where the main focus has been on groundwater. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our chief guest, Mr. Alfred Okot Okidi, the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Water and Environment of the Government of the Republic of Uganda, who is stepping into the shoes of the Minister of Water and Environment of the Republic of Uganda. Mr. Okidi, you're most welcome to this closing ceremony. Allow me also to recognize the Executive Secretary of IGAD, represented by Mr. Mohamed Musa, who is the Director for Agriculture and Environment, under which the portfolio of water in IGAD is domiciled. Mr. Musa is representing the Executive Secretary of IGAD, Dr. Warke Negebeyu, who would have loved to be with us this afternoon, but because he had commitments with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda at this time, it was impossible for him to make it here, but he sends his apologies and assures you that he's with us in spirit, and that through Mr. Musa, he is well and fully represented. Allow me also to recognize the heads of delegations who have accompanied the Executive Secretary and our chief guest at the closing ceremony from the Republic of Djibouti and from the Republic of South Sudan, two strong members of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development. Chief guest, allow me also to recognize in this meeting a representative of our development partners who has also attended this meeting fully. That is from the World Bank, Dr. Victor Vasquez, who is a water specialist from the World Bank, attending this meeting virtually, thanks to the power of technology and digitalization, made more visible as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our chief guest, I do not have much to say at this point. We've been here for 3 days. We've had a number of discussions. We had a number of side events, all addressing the issue of water as it connects to peace and security, on issues of financing, on social development, and so on and so forth. I'm not a sector expert in that area, but the experts here have discussed this topic at length, shared experiences from the different contexts and environments, shared knowledge, and also perspectives on how best to improve investments in groundwater for resilience and other dimensions. On this note, permit me to invite the representative of the Executive Secretary of IGAD, Mr. Mohamed Musa, to address us, after which he will invite you, Chief Guest, to address this meeting and declare it officially closed. Mr. Musa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mubarak. Before I start my statement, I would like to inform you that we had a consensus on the communique of this forum. However, certain countries wanted to consult with their capitals. Therefore, once we had the necessary feedback, the communique will be uploaded on the IGAD website. Having said that, Your Excellency Alfred Okot, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water and Environment, our guest of honor, Mr. Emmanuel Ladu, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Water and Irrigation of the Republic of South Sudan, His Excellency Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Ibrahim Ilmi, Dr. Victor from the World Bank, Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, Representative of Development Partners present, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, let me, on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Warkine Kabayehu, the Executive Secretary of IGAD, start by thanking the government of the Republic of Uganda for hosting this important regional water event successfully, and the National Committee for ensuring the event is well organized. Further, I would wish to thank the Regional Technical Planning Committee for a job well done in ensuring that the second IGAD Regional Water Dialogue Forum is well planned and ensured wide participation from all over the world through their individual networks, for which we are very grateful. In addition, I wish to thank the World Bank for supporting the whole process of planning and hosting this particular event. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this regional water event was well attended by many experts from the member states, UN organizations, international water experts from the academia from all over the world, and expertise from private sector. This composition of expertise ensured a higher degree of knowledge sharing among the expertise, and this is very much in line with the objectives of the forum, that is knowledge and experience sharing. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in addition, I have to say that I have witnessed presentations of high quality, which means a lot of research work. At the national level, on groundwater is going on in the region, and this is therefore appreciated as it creates the required groundwater knowledge needed for groundwater development to foster socio-economic development in our region. Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, according to the available studies, the region is endowed with medium water resources potential and hence suitable for human consumption and livestock development, more so in the arid and the semi-arid areas of IGAD region. As a region, therefore, we need to prioritize the development of groundwater, as it is the only source of water available in most of the cross-border areas for both human and livestock water use. It is the only source of water for various uses during the severe drought periods. Excellencies, lastly, having seen the importance of groundwater in the IGAD region, I would urge the countries in the IGAD region to engage constructively in the establishment of the necessary water governance instruments in order to ensure that these resources are well managed and protected for the future generations. These may even involve the transboundary water resources. Finally, I wish to thank all the session chairs, session conveners, panelists, paper presenters, and media for their various roles well played. All these made the forum a success. In addition, I would like to thank sincerely my colleagues from the IGAD Water Unit for their dedicated efforts for this forum. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Let's put our hands together again for the Executive Secretary for the remarks. Our chief guest, Mr. Musa, is not social distancing himself from you, but he's just sitting here strategically to be able to invite you to address us after hearing some words from our partners and friends from the World Bank. And allow me to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Victor Vasquez from the World Bank to give us the perspective from our friends and partners sitting where he is at the World Bank. Dr. Victor, please take the floor, and the audience here of participants anxiously await to hear the perspective from the World Bank on behalf of our partners. Dr. Victor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we do hear you.
Okay. So, allow me just to say a big thank you to everyone about how well this was conceived. I think it was an excellent set of presentations, presenters, and sessions and following discussions. I think it was relevant and very clear that groundwater resources in the region is a topic of vital importance, even more in these days of climate change and other rapid changes. I'm not going to repeat the reasons why. I think all the presenters were very clear about it, and I think all the different dimensions and aspects of groundwater were very well discussed. From first the information, which is essential. Second, the institutions and the governance systems, and the necessity of thinking on sustainability and the necessary enabling environment, all the regulations, etc., that need to be in place, and also the infrastructure and the importance of having adequate technologies, also thinking on sustainability of service delivery, but also being inclusive with the participation of local communities and considering local implementation arrangements. I think, I hope that this is just the first of many sessions. I think I challenge from here IGAD to organize more of this, challenge of course in the good way. I think as we develop this agenda forward, especially through the projects and interventions that we are planning, there will be more opportunities to gather together. It will be good to do so when we have even more information on the table on, for example, the status of our groundwater masses, bodies, and aquifers in the region. And I think I insist always that it is with objective information on the table where we can have more rich discussions. And I hope there will be more opportunities for this. With further things, I think let me congratulate once again IGAD for putting this excellent forum and sessions together, all the presenters, and the excellent discussions, and I really look forward to more. So thank you very much, and see you soon.
Yes, thank you very much. I think it needs a louder clap. That's the bank you remember. Thank you very much, Dr. Victor Vasquez, for those words of support. We certainly appreciate the partnership with the World Bank in terms of investing in the water sector in the Horn of Africa, more so in terms of also increasing the visibility and deepening the investments in groundwater in the Horn of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now again my honor to invite the Executive Secretary to take his office, rightly so, to invite our chief guest from the government of the Republic of Uganda to address us and officially close this meeting that has been described by all the precurrent speakers as being highly successful. Mr. Executive Secretary, please take.
Your Excellency, Dr. Alfred Okot, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water and the Environment of the Republic of Uganda. We are very grateful for you for honoring this closing session of your presence. And it is now my pleasure, indeed an honor, to call upon you to proceed to the official closing of this IGAD, second IGAD Regional Water Forum. You have the floor, Your Excellency.
Thank you. I bring apologies from my minister, who is unable to be with us at this particular moment because something cropped up and is with the Prime Minister and the other senior government officials for some engagement. He sends his apologies. I have his speech that I'm going to read, but I think before I read, I think on my own I would like to say thank you all of you for all these many days you have had in Uganda and for your contributions and participations. But I think to the Secretariat, what this tells us also is that when we plan for the next event, we should avoid putting it when the national day of the country is falling, because it messes us up. We would have been here fully, but we got messed up because we had a national day to attend to. But that is for the future, and let us avoid having these meetings in the midst of national days. The Honourable Minister of Water Affairs from Somalia, other Honourable Ministers online, the Executive Secretary of IGAD, represented by Musa Mamad, the secretaries from the various partner states, the stakeholders, the senior government officials from IGAD member states, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure to officiate at the closing of the second IGAD Water Dialogue in Uganda, in Entebbe. I hope you had a very good stay in Uganda and very fruitful deliberations in this wonderful city of Entebbe. Ladies and gentlemen, as this forum has noted, the issue of groundwater is of prime concern to the IGAD region, as the region is largely characterized by arid, semi-arid, and dry sub-humid areas. It has been noted that the region is endowed with a lot of water resources in terms of surface water and groundwater, some of which, as we all know, are transboundary and shared between more than two countries. These resources, therefore, need to be well managed and developed for sustainable and equitable socio-economic development of the region, to ensure that we do not end up with conflicts. I note that the forum has discussed key groundwater management and development challenges in the IGAD region, and has noted the need to build joint knowledge based on the resources, design strategies, and capacity building programs for sustainable groundwater development and management, and also share knowledge and information amongst the member states with other stakeholders. I wish once again to call upon you, my colleagues, the ministers in charge of water issues in IGAD region, to prioritize the implementation of the provisions of the IGAD Regional Water Resource Policy and Regional Water Resource Protocol when finalized, in order to establish appropriate frameworks for cooperation on surface and groundwater issues. I wish also to request the IGAD Secretariat to give more priority to groundwater resources issues and put in place the necessary framework and programs for groundwater resources management, development, and capacity building. I wish to call upon all relevant stakeholders within and outside the region to contribute to the IGAD groundwater agenda through collaborative actions, through the various IGAD programs and initiatives, and ongoing and planned groundwater-related projects in the region. I therefore, at this moment, like to applaud IGAD in collaboration with the Minister of Water and Environment for organizing this event and bringing together all the key stakeholders for the dialogue on groundwater-related issues. I wish specifically to thank all those who work behind the scenes to ensure the forum was a success. I would like to say thank you to the Secretariat, to the team from the Ministry of Water and Environment led by Dr. Kalis specifically, the hotel management, and the various service providers, the interpreters, the media, who have contributed in very significant ways towards the success of this dialogue. In a special way, I would like to thank the keynote presenters, the panelists, for sharing your knowledge and experiences, and for critiquing and helping us to understand issues around groundwater better. It is that spirit that I call upon all the member states to continue with, so that we have a really complete framework that is acceptable to all when it comes to groundwater in IGAD. The forum has happened and ended well due to you, the participants, who have contributed papers, suggestions, and ideas. I wish once more to thank the contributors without whom this forum had not been successful. The set of dialogues, the technical sessions, and side events giving a good indication that this dialogue was well thought out and well deserved. I have no doubt that the outcome of the second IGAD Water Dialogue Forum will make significant contributions to enabling IGAD region to achieve its development targets related to groundwater. For those of you who are taking your journeys back to your respective countries and places of work, safe journey. Those who would love to have a day or two in this beautiful country called the Pearl of Africa, you are more than welcome to explore the hospitality. There is no lockdown now, so you can do whatever you want. And for those of us going to our various places of work within the country, thank you so much. I'd also like to say thank you to the development partners and sponsors who have made this event successful. It is therefore my honor to declare the second IGAD Water Dialogue Forum formally closed. I thank you all for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water and Environment, Government of Uganda. The meeting is officially closed, and I want to thank you for honoring our invitation and closing the meeting. We stand adjourned and we will leave at our own pleasure. Let me take this opportunity also to wish you all a safe journey back home, wish you good health, until we meet at the third Water Dialogue platform for the IGAD. But we leave this place with a message, one clear message of stepping up investments in groundwater. And as the Executive Secretary did inform you, we will be getting back to the capitals with the issue of the communique, which will thereby be shared upon the concurrence of all the capitals. Thank you very much. Safe journey to everyone, whether I know none of us lives in this hotel, but at the moment we decide to leave, bon voyage to wherever we are going. Thank you very much.